Good evening, everyone. Welcome back once again to Vicious Rants, and of course, I'm your host, your YouTube Messiah, and often imitated, never duplicated superstar Tim Vicious. And we're talking about Raw this week was in Washington D.C, nation's capital. The go home Raw to WrestleMania coming up this Sunday. Now, before we get into this week's show, folks, got a lot of meat on the bone to talk about for current news and events. First things first, that's something that, honestly, I can't believe is actually happening. Brutus the fucking Barber Beefcake is going in the Hall of Fame. Yeah. Now, I got nothing against the guy. I'm sure he is I'm sure he's a real nice guy if you met him in real life and all that stuff, but just looking back, thinking on career-wise, I mean, what did he do that was infamous enough to be known, to be considered a Hall of Fame worthy, like, career? I mean, honestly, the only thing I can ever think the Barber did was fucking piss off a shitload of people for being the one to break Mr. Perfect's streak, and the other having a fucking barber shop when Shawn broke up with Marty. Other than that, yeah. Now also, this is going to be a hard thing to try and cram into a very short amount of time. John Oliver wound up going on his show the other night, talking about wrestling, shooting on a lot of different aspects of it, saying on how a lot of wrestlers died at a young age, pointing towards wrestlers like Eddie Guerrero, Owen Hart, and such. You know, saying on how where there were flaws within the idea of the business itself. You know, on how Vince licenses wrestlers, his performers, as independent contractors, not offering health benefits, things of that nature. Okay, you know, and people are saying, you know, and going again back to the whole wrestling union thing. Okay, here's the thing, short and simple. I have worked in businesses that have and have not had unions. I have been in businesses that have had unions that did not need it, and if anything, the union wound up hurting the job. And I have worked in businesses that needed a union, and honestly, we fought tooth and nail to get it and never did. Wrestling, honestly, from my personal experience and taking from a fan perspective, I think a union would be a very bad idea. And before you get into an all smart rage going down below saying I'm a fool, hear me out on why first. Because we'll just take anyone, we'll say for example, someone the likes of Heath Slater. Heath Slater, vilified jobber. You know, he's a jobber to the stars, no doubt about that. You know, we get a union, next thing you know, he gets put on TV, gets squash match after squash match after squash match after squash match for 4 or 5 months straight. Next thing you know, he feels like he deserves to get better. He deserves to have a mid-card push, or a push the likes of Hulk Hogan or John Cena-esque. Next thing you know, what's he do? He goes to the union chief, he goes to a union man, goes and makes the complaint about it. Now, that's more than likely, that would be, obviously, that could happen, but also here's the thing. Some businesses really don't need a union and thrive without it. You know, I've had family that worked in the garment industry that did not have a union. In fact, if they had a union, they would have gotten paid less. I had family that was making 20 bucks an hour, working 40 hours a week, 6 days a week, doing a union, non-union job, hour lunch, holidays off, time with vacation pay. Some jobs, honestly, they don't need it. Now, as far as with, like, for healthcare, dude, the company obviously pays for any injuries that occur in the ring. Anything outside the ring, that goes on your own. That goes without saying. I mean, seriously. That's like fucking saying you work at Walmart and you choose to go and get Blue Cross because you can't get the health care there. Same difference. They're gonna fucking cover you if you get hurt at work. Fucking do something for yourself and get your own decent insurance. It's that fucking simple. It's called being a fucking grown-up. Yeah. Not only that, a lot of the shit that he said, like fucking saying Roman Reigns looks like a fucking pedo because he's got wet hair all the time. Now that was just trying to fucking say shit to like rally people and fuck. That was seriously unfucking called for. You know, I don't know about any of y'all, but where I come from, if somebody would have wound up saying something like that to anyone, to me or anyone I know, they'd have gotten their fucking head cracked open. That dude, John Oliver, needs to really watch himself. That said, that's about the most I'm going to bring up on that little fuckknuckle anymore. If you guys want to engage me on it more, feel free to say something down below. I got no problem talking business. And, you know, as long as you're willing to actually talk, not argue and say, I'm wrong and try and slam me nonstop. That said, now we're going to get into Raw. Starts out with the MILF in charge, Miss Stephanie McMahon, coming out, hyping up WrestleMania this Sunday. The women's triple threat match. Ronda Rousey, the Raw Women's Champion. Charlotte Flair, the new SmackDown Women's Champion, which I'll get on that in a minute. And Becky Lynch, the man, all competing. And then Steph says, and it's now going to be a fatal 4-way with me involved. April Fools. I had you guys going for a second. Yep, which, Steph, honestly, listen, I'm not sure if you're up to date with the whole kid lingo and all, but you never want to do that again. And if you want to know why you don't do that, if you have a strong enough stomach, Google image fish hooking. After that, feel free to apologize to me. That said, she then says that this match now is going to be a winner take all. All titles are going to be on the line. Now, honestly, last week, Charlotte won the title. Big shock to everyone, including yours truly. My initial thought after it happened was they were going to pull Charlotte out of the triple threat to make Charlotte versus Asuka 3 to try and have Asuka get her at least one win over her. That's what I thought was going to happen. I'm man enough to admit I was wrong. I saw different writing on the wall. Now I got no quarrels with ever admitting that I was wrong on it. Although I do give credit where credit is due, the man himself, Mr. Jimmy Korderas, former WWE referee, did call that right call that was going to happen the second Charlotte won the title. That said though, man, I feel really bad about the fact that my future third ex-wife lost. Yeah. So yeah, that said, let's get into the matches now. First up, women's eight women tag match. Sasha, Bayley, Natayla, and Beth Phoenix. Yes, Beth came back. Going against Nia, Tamina, and the IIconics from SmackDown. all this is because this Sunday at WrestleMania, it is going to be a fatal 4-way for the women's tag titles, which, honestly, I like the idea. However, think we should just, would have been nicer if they'd have just took Nia and Tamina out and put a different women's tag team in from NXT. That way you could say you got Sasha and Bayley representing Raw, the IIconics representing SmackDown, you got Beth and Natty, representing the past, showing the divas of doom, and then you got insert tag team name here. We'll just say for the sake of argument, Kairi Sane and Io Shirai. And then you got the future of the women's division in WWE. I'm just saying I think that would have been nice. Now, as far as the match goes, Peyton and Billie Kay, they were pretty much the team punching bags for this match. And Beth, when she got in there though, man, she did not look like she missed a step, and I give credit where credit's due. Beth Phoenix had 2 kids, busted her ass, got a college degree, and this was all after she quit wrestling. And is fucking can still frickin' move and is still just as mean looking as ever. That is one angry Polish woman you do not want to fuck with. So, yeah. Now, did kind of like on how Sasha and Bayley were kind of like, don't want to say disheartening, but like, didn't want Natalya and Beth in there to do work. They kind of wanted to do their own thing. But anyone else just pretty much notice Sasha, she tends to wind up going to do shit she really doesn't need to anymore. Like trying to go for moves she really don't need to, and when she does, she's pretty much botching it. I don't know. This could just be the old mindset in me, but less is more. Sell more, bump less. Don't try and do big fancy moves if you don't fucking need it. If the match calls for a move where you need to jump up and jump over the ropes and then do like 300 flips to just then pull someone over, okay. But if you don't need it, why do it? That's all I'm saying, Simple psychology. But, yeah. On how the match wound up coming to an end, Beth at one point tagged herself in, which then led to all of their team quarreling. Peyton and Billie, they were trying to get in on the action, take advantage of it. Nia and Tamina did not get put into the match at all. Thank you. Nothing against Nia, but seriously, just the idea of her and Tamina just, ugh. Yeah. So yeah, on how the match came to an end after Beth wound up spearing Tamina through the timekeeper's barricade. She eventually got back in the ring, hit the glam slam on Peyton Royce, 1, 2, 3. That was it. And yeah, next up we got a piss break match to hype up the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. And here's the thing. A lot of people want to bitch and moan now saying, oh, they're just doing the Battle Royal to have everyone on WrestleMania, everyone on WrestleMania, everyone on WrestleMania. Well, you know what? Yeah, they are. And you know why? It's because of all of you fuck knuckles. Think for a minute. Before that Battle Royal happened, all of you were fucking complaining. This person deserves to be on Mania. This one deserves to be on Mania. This one deserves to be on Mania. Well, you know what? Fuck! Now that they're doing it, now you're gonna fucking bitch about it. Think of it like this, in this kind of a sense. WrestleMania is like the Oscars of pro wrestling. It's the Oscars, it's the movies. Now, as much as I love the Toxic Avenger movie, know for a fact the Toxic Avenger was nowhere near worthy of the Oscars. But does that mean that the Toxic Avenger deserves to be at the Oscars? No! No! Bust your ass and earn this damn spot on the card. Don't go just saying... This is why social media is both a blessing and a curse. Because, one hand, fans get to interact with each other and interact with stars. And on the other hand, you wind up getting idiots like me that have a camera, and then you get idiots that go and say, well, this person deserves to be on WrestleMania. Really? What makes them deserve it? Well, they were a star in this promotion. Okay, what'd they do in WWE to deserve being on WrestleMania then? Yeah. So yeah, Apollo Crews versus Jinder. It was to hype up the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. This was a piss break, really. Crews got the win doing a frog splash. After that, everyone started fighting, and it ended with Crews being the last man standing. And so, honestly, I could see Crews winning. I'm hoping that he does, and he goes and does something good with it. That said, next up we got tag title action. Ricochet and Alister Black going against the Revival. This had some nice action to start. Best match leading so far on the night. You know, Alister wound up pretty much working as the team punching bag. One thing though, when Alister does his entrance, please WWE, never do that sound when you have him coming up ever again. Just, no, that's just, that did not go well. That went about as well as a turd in a punch bowl. Ricochet, he got the hot tag in, and yeah, he wound up cleaning up house. Probably the big moment was when Black had Dawson and Wilder. They were all fighting outside. There's one spot. Next thing you know, Ricochet jumped over the turnbuckle, over the ring post, I should say, cleaned house. Next thing you know, on how they wound up how they got the win. As Ricochet is stumbling to get back in, Wilder is inside. Scott Dawson hides under the ring and trips Ricochet as he's trying to get back into the ring. So Revival win via a countout. All more than likely leading to a tag title match at Mania. Some people are saying, oh well, with this match happening on Raw, there's no possibility there's not going to happen now. Dude, that don't mean nothing. What's to say that they won't announce that tomorrow or the day of? Fucking dirt sheet writers try and act like they know better. Next up, we got women's tag action. The Riott Squad going against Becky Lynch, Charlotte, and Ronda Rousey. And they did make the stipulation that if Becky, Ronda, and Charlotte cannot provoke, or trying to think the right way on how they phrase it, if they attack each other in some kind of a way, they are out of the WrestleMania match. I believe is on how the proper way to phrase it, if not paraphrasing. But that about sums it up. And this, I really dug that little hostility between them all. The animosity, where when Becky was tagged in, she was mocking Charlotte, like, come on, go ahead, right there, I dare you. You know, trying to call her out to get Charlotte out of it, you know, and just constantly. That, and anytime while Becky was in, Ronda and Charlotte just like, yeah, okay, you know, not wanting to do anything to participate. Not going against the rules, but not being a team player, basically. Pretty much, now, that's pretty much on how the entire match went. Match came to an end when, just as Becky had drug Liv Morgan over into her corner, Charlotte tagged herself in, which then led to Becky and Charlotte having a screaming argument, which then led to Ronda doing a blind tag on Charlotte. She went in, popped an armbar on Liv Morgan, and the most annoying thing I ever see with a submission, and I will preach this until the day I die. Tapping out the very second it's locked in. Hold out for like 3 to 5 seconds at least to make it look believable, like the pain is shooting through you immediately, instead of, oh, ow, it's locked in now. Okay, now. Hold it, lock it in, like, ah, yeah, I give. You know? Just a little more realism. That's all I'm saying. But yeah, after that, after the bell rang, then all 3 girls started going at it, which then brought out, as Hunter so elegantly put them before, the Guardians of the Independent scene. They proceeded to go and separate the girls. Then they started brawling again, which then led to getting handcuffed, and then led to a big, huge fight backstage in cop cars. Cars getting smashed. Ronda getting a knee right to the face via Charlotte. Wow. There was mass chaos, pandemonium all around backstage. It was like my high school graduation all over again. Whew. Next matchup we got after that, we got Bobby Roode and Chad Gable going against Heavy Machinery. And nice little back and forth right up until Lacey Evans came out, and whew, man. See Lacey Evans, I need my heart pills, man. Whew, goddamn. Of all the Wookiees out there. Yeah, my brother, he was a jarhead. My brother's a jarhead. He watches. He sees her come out, he's like, the fuck? She was a fucking Wookiee? What the fuck were these kind of female Marines when I was in? Which, yeah. Whew, good God. And if you're wondering why female Marines are called Wookiees, it's because they're just as tough as the Wookiees. Just as tough as Chewbacca. So yeah. In-house term right there. There you go. So you learned something to do today, folks. But yeah. Once Lacey came out, next thing you know, it pretty much went in Heavy Machinery's way. Match came to an end when they hit the compactor on Gable. And that was it. Which leads us to the main event of the night. Oh. Actually, I'm sorry, I skipped a match. It was actually Braun Strowman going against 2 local jobbers. And this was led because they showed a backstage segment with Alexa Bliss talking to Tyler Breeze and EC3, hyping up the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, and then Strowman comes over and they're like, what are you guys laughing at? Those 2 were talking about Weekend Update. And pointing at 2 local jobbers, wound up looking at them like, you guys think it's funny, huh? Well, I'm gonna think of you 2 as whatever those fucking guys are. I haven't watched SNL since I was like 16. But next, he said he's gonna take them both on, and yeah, it was just like Strowman's heyday when he was doing piss break matches. He obliterated the local jobbers. Now leads us to the main event of the night. Rey Mysterio versus Baron Corbin. Now, before we get into the why for this match, first thing I want to address, some people speculating, oh well, since SmackDown talent's on Raw, and this, that, and the other, then the brand extension's not working, so they're going to drop it. No, that's not it at all, you little fucking idiots! The IIconics were put on to hype up the Raw, the women's tag titles. That's simple. Rey was put on originally because they were hyping up, they were going to have Kurt Angle versus Rey Mysterio on Raw. Which now we're going to segue, because just as that was about to happen, Corbin came out cutting a promo that could make Trabamine look like fucking Benadryl, you know, saying on how Kurt's washed up, he's slow, this, that, and the other, he can't keep up with this new generation and all that jazz, whatever the fuck. Next thing you know, Rey comes out and says, hey, tell you what, man, if you're not busy, how about you step in with me? which then leads to this match. And honestly, at the beginning of it, it made me... at the beginning of it, I liked just simply because I forgot on how good it was to see Ray doing that biggest little man taking on the giants kind of a feel, and then everything went... yeah. Ugh. The only redeeming quality in this match was the bell rang to end it. So, yeah. Corbin got the win with the deep six, which, okay, I never typically question booking because from a fan perspective, I got no way of asking why or how or the reasonings or anything, but you're having Baron Corbin get a win over a legend like Rey Mysterio leading into the match, leading into Kurt Angle's final match at WrestleMania where Kurt's going against Corbin. Right. Yeah. Anyways, after that match, Corbin then snuck him, popped in an ankle lock. Corbin was tapping on the walkway, and then it ended with Angle with his arms up, playing his music. So yeah. So that is it for this week's show, folks. Do not forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch some of the other episodes. Make sure y'all look for me on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. Do also got another account if I get ghosted or put in Twitter jail, Tim_Vicious. Also on that Facebook gimmick, Tim Ash. If you want to look for me on my Facebook gimmick, let me know you found me on there from here or on my Twitter at Tim Vicious. Tell me you looked for my Facebook gimmick on one or the other, so I don't think you got your creep John going. Also, folks, do not forget to follow all of these cool ass cats right here on the Twitter at Some Mulligan, Kenny Killer, DSB_IV, Cranky Grandpa, Dazzy MWP, and Sergeant Curry Pants. And folks, like I always tell you, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.